Today, let's take a look at this 2020 Ram 1500 Bighorn, courtesy of Yark Automotive Group, listed for the live market price of $36,803. Yark Automotive specializes in bringing you the live market price to be sure that you, the customer, are getting the fairest deal. Our prices are quite competitive, but they simply cannot be beat. Yark Automotive also specializes in bringing a full Carfax report. This truck has a clean Carfax with no accidents or damages reported. Links to both of those will be in the listing in the description of the video. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. The exterior color is known as Diamond Black Crystal Pearl Coat, and it's finished over a black cloth interior. We can see that this truck is a work truck. This has the 6'4" 4" box with a convenient topper on the back for any kind of items you'd like to have stored securely. We also have what looks to be a carpeted bed. This is very interesting. Tailgate is easy assist down, and this folds back. This is definitely different than a bed liner. It's called a bed rug. I've actually never seen this before, but if you like to protect your bed in a different kind of way than having a factory bed liner installed, then by all means, this can also protect your bed. You can also see that we have Ram floor mats included with the truck, but this is a rather vastly large bed. You can fit anything you want. You can fit any kind of tools or a slide out tray, whatever you'd like. You can even pitch a tent in here and use this as an overlander. We've got blacked out bumpers, blacked out exhaust tips. This is the 5.7 liter HEMI. We've got a trailer hitch pin right there, along with a hitch receiver. Blacked out 20-inch polished wheels by riding on Goodyear Wrangler tires all season. Blacked out running boards. Blacked out Ram emblems. Bigger tow mirrors that fold out. This is a handsome looking truck. Blacked out grille. Beautiful machine. Obviously, a lot of the black will pick up a lot of dirt and grime, but there are not a lot of scratches, no wear in the paint, and you can see it metallic flaking off in the sun. It's a handsome vehicle. Let's go ahead and hop into the second row. This is a full-size crew cab, so when you get back here, this may as well be a limousine. I'm 6 foot and I fit with room to spare. There is so much space in the back of this truck. Back here we have convenient cup holder for the rear passengers. You also have two USB-Cs and USB ports with a 115 power outlet down there. We have rear climate control vents and two cup holders at the front for either the front or rear passengers. And down here we also have Ram boxes, perfect for chains or bungee straps or even coolers. Ram was not messing around when they wanted to make this truck their most usable model yet. The interior cockpit is typical of any other Ram. There's a lot of familiar switchgear across Chrysler lineup. This is the Bighorn trim. We've got nice cloth bucket seats. Starting over here, we have power windows, mirrors, and locks. Automatic light control, dimming light control for the gauges. The parking brake and pedals are down there as well. Up here, we have the controls for the center screen. Totally configurable. Phone controls here. A modern Ram logo right there. We have regular, traditional, old school cruise control and a gear limiter. So when you're towing and you need to lock out the 8-speed transmission to maybe 6 gears for maximum torque, you can do that with these buttons here. The rotary shifter. A lot of people think this is controversial, but you learn to live with it, and it's actually better than a console mounted shifter. We have an 8.4-inch Uconnect display. We do not have a navigation system, but we have a compass. We have different radio presets, media, climate control, Uconnect apps, different controls for the heated seats and heated wheel, a mirror dimmer, and a backup camera that's crystal clear. Phone connectivity. This has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, and a different kind of settings for the entire truck itself. We have physical radio knobs here. We have the heated seat control, heated wheel control, and heated seat control for the passenger, along with the climate control knobs, big and easy to locate. So that means if there's anything wrong with the screen, which there really wouldn't be, but if something happens with the screen, you have the physical controls right here. We have recirculate, climate off, we have the different fan speeds along with the defrosters. You also have a trailer brake controller along with traction control, tow haul mode, parking sensors for the front and the rear. Down here we have a small storage cubby for some change. We've got 2 USB-Cs down there along with 2 USB ports and an aux port. And down here we have an impressive amount of cargo room with a 115 power outlet down there. Space for a phone up here. This entire tray slides forward. You have a change holder, you have 2 cup holders up front. You have a decent sized cubby here, but it opens up to reveal a larger cubby right here with different kinds of equations for if you use this truck for work, since it's geared toward more of a work truck. All the Rams have this, and if you look down there, you can see that there is a plaque with the history of the Ram truck for this new 5th gen. There's also a cargo divider right there. Ram was not messing around when they wanted to make this the most usable truck ever. There's plenty of cup holders, plenty of storage space. They really knocked it out of the park with this interior. Up here you can see you have a 12-volt DC up there, and you have different spaces for a phone mount here if you'd like. 2 thick grab handles for the driver and the passenger. Up here we have dome lights, we have the rear sliding glass window, we have dome light control, along with the lights for when the doors are open, and back here we have a sunglasses holder. It's got everything that a work truck should. It's still reasonably equipped, it's still comfortable. But let's go ahead and get this truck out on the road. Starting off in this more rustic setting where this truck feels more naturally at home. This is a work truck, so it's perfect for the job site, especially with that 6'4" box and that topper, because if you have any tools in the back, then the topper really helps in keeping those tools out of the weather. It also helps them from, it prevents them from being stolen. It's harder to break into. The topper is not for everybody, but if you're somebody who likes to carry a lot of tools around, or you have a lot of valuables in the back, then it definitely makes sense. It's also definitely a Midwestern thing. A lot of trucks up here in Ohio have a topper. My grandpa's F-150 was one of them. Thankfully, we got rid of that. But the topper's not for everybody, but to each their own. If you have a ton of tools and work on a job site, then it's perfect for you. And we get some wheel spin, unleashing the 5.7 liter V8. .395 horsepower, 410 pound-feet of torque from this 5.7 liter HEMI gets it up and going with no issue at all. The HEMI is a proven powertrain in the Ram pickups, and it makes this feel faster than it actually is. 0 to 60 takes around 6.1 seconds, which is remarkable because you have no weight over the rear axle. Even with that topper on, it'll definitely get up and move. But around town like this, it's easy to drive, even though it's like you're driving a spaceship, because you have these gigantic tow mirrors. These are the upgraded tow mirrors, so you have great visibility out of these bug mirrors on the sides, but you feel like you're commandeering the road, so it feels good. It's long, but especially with that topper on, the visibility is not going to be the greatest, but you make up for it with these larger tow mirrors that can be flipped up as well if you're pulling a heavy load. But only flip them up if you're towing. That's a rule about Ram trucks. If you have tow mirrors, only put them up when you're towing. People don't really like it when there's a moose in their rearview mirror with their tow mirrors out when they're not pulling anything. Don't be that person. Driving down the road like this, it's somewhat smooth. It rides like a work truck would, but there is some sort of vibration from the tires. It's kind of bouncing up and down a little bit, but it's somewhat noticeable, but it's not really intrusive with the driving experience. This is also heavy-duty suspension, so that could be kind of part of why it's riding like that. But it is also a work truck. It's not built to be limited or anything like that, but it's still comfortable for what it is. On the brakes feel good and responsive and strong. Smooth shifts from that 8-speed. The 8-speed matches this engine very well. This is a universally used transmission across a lot of the Chrysler cars, but it's not the 10-speed, but honestly, it might be better than the 10-speed, because the 10-speeds from General Motors and Ford, they do a lot of searching around. This doesn't do that. It knows what gear to be in and adapts to any type of driving situation. Right now we're sitting at 1500 RPM. You can't even really feel it shift. There is some hesitation when it downshifts from third to second, where it likes to hang in third gear until the very last minute, and then it realizes that it has to shift, and then it kicks down. But as we get on the highway, we can just let it cruise right along. Put it in this corner. Definitely some body roll there. This is not built for cornering, but it's built for cruising as well, as we'll now demonstrate. Not even really on the gas. Gets it up and going, no issue. The HEMI also quiets itself down on the highway, partly because this has MDS, multi-displacement, but we're using all 8 cylinders now as we get up to speed. Back it back down a little bit. That was 80 miles an hour, no problem. And I didn't even realize it. That's how quick this truck is. You don't even really need to be on the gas to get it to go. Not a lot of vibration. There's still some vibration from the suspension, but overall, not a lot of road noise, not a lot of wind noise at all. It's smooth. It's much more smooth on the highway. It's comfortable with these cloth seats. You also have power seats as well, so you have all of the creature comforts and amenities you'd want out of a truck. So this can definitely do some long road tripping. You can pull a trailer behind it with no problem, especially with the added security and benefit of that trailer brake. It makes it much easier. As we get on the brakes here, we're gonna put it through this roundabout to kind of test its cornering ability on the brakes hard. About halfway input from those brakes as we put it in the roundabout. Not built for cornering. We can definitely feel some body roll, but that heavy duty suspension is keeping it planted well. By-wire steering, obviously, so it makes for a much lighter driving experience, but you still have good amounts of input coming through the steering wheel as we toss it into this corner and get back on the highway. Impressive cornering, not a lot of body roll, but let's get it back on the highway and open her up. And here's where the HEMI starts to sing. From 3 to 6,000, you really feel that torque and feel that big V8 grumble. These trucks are awesome. This is the perfect kind of work truck. It can pull a trailer. You can tow up to 13,000 pounds with this 5.7 liter V8, especially with this towing package. We have class 4 towing, so we can tow up to that much. You've got a different axle ratio, so you can pull a trailer and cruise down the road with this, no problem. It's perfect for working on a job site, and it's perfect for just floating down the highway because these cloth seats are still plenty comfortable. It's an all-around great truck. It's usable. It's like the Swiss Army knife of trucks. It's capable. You have 4-wheel drive. What more could you ask for? And for the price listed at the live market price on the listing, really, you're getting an absolute steal. That's the benefit of live market pricing, because our prices simply cannot be beat. So for what this is listed for, you have a V8, you have 4-wheel drive, you have an extremely usable and practical bed, you have a practical truck with plenty of storage, you have 13,000 pound towing capability. What more could you ask for? This is a great all-around truck, and you have this phenomenal interior. If you're looking for a perfect truck to use for a job site or for towing a boat or jet skis or any big trailers like that, you don't want to put up with a diesel, look no further than this, and it can get done whatever you need it to get done. As always, if you like this video or like this vehicle, be sure to check us out at Yark Automotive Group. That is yarkauto.com, where you can find hundreds of certified pre-owned, used, and new cars. Remember, at Yark Automotive, we've got just what you're looking for.